Hey guys, I just recently watched the final episode of Paramount Plus's new Halo series, and you guys might be wondering, this is a different backdrop, where am I? Why is this video so late? Well, there's so many questions, guys. The real answer to that is that I'm actually on holiday, and I'm really sorry if these videos, it looks pretty cool, it looks quite nice, and yeah, I'm really sorry if these videos haven't been coming out as much, because obviously the last week of school was pretty busy, and yeah, it's the holidays. I've been busy on holiday, and I'm sure Max is working very hard, but over the next few weeks, obviously when we go back, we'll try and get these videos out. So yeah, the final episode of Halo, what did I think of it? Overall, I thought it was pretty good. I have a lot of questions and we'll get into that, but where did we start off from last season? Last episode. So last episode left us with Chief, Kai, and the rest of the Spartans, and they're trying to figure out who's the good guy and who's the bad guy in this situation, because it's really confusing, because they don't know about Halsey and how they got kidnapped and stuff when they were a kid, and that's pretty much where this entry starts. So we have this whole the corrupted building, what do you call it? Like, sort of, they're in this base and it gets blown up, pretty much. And Master Chief has a gun to him by one of the other Spartans, and Kai and Chief tell the other two Spartans that they were kidnapped as a kid from their family and they still don't know where they are. So that sort of gets them onto our side, and Halsey actually makes a clone of herself and sort of sends it one way, and she flies off into the sunset. So they capture this clone and it starts like spazzing out and has a nosebleed, and they find out, oh, it's a clone. And then she flies off and she's nowhere to be seen until like the final scene of the episode. So I bet they're going to try and find her, because obviously she's committed war crimes, and this whole set of superhuman Spartans, they were actually just kids that she kidnapped. So, you know, she's the villain of her own story, if you think about it, guys. But yeah, no, this episode sort of goes the way you would think. It has a really cool action set piece at the end. The CGI is not too great, but if they're trying to recapture the magical memories that was Halo 3 on the Xbox 360, this episode is lazy but brilliant in a way, because obviously you think of the games, don't you? The graphics aren't too great nowadays. Obviously, it's been outdated. And the CGI kind of reminded me of that action. But overall, I thought it was pretty cool. There's a great scene where Mariketh touches one of the artifacts, and she puts Master Chief in a trance, and she shows him the future of this Halo ring. And she thinks it's this beautiful thing. But as we know from the games, it's a weapon of mass destruction. And then Kai actually shoots her because they're getting their ass kicked and they need Chief in the fight. But obviously he's in this trance. So there's a really cool emotional bit where she sees like blood going down her chest. And, well, yeah, she dies. And Chief actually starts helping in the fight. But there's actually one character that I think we've seen before. Atriox is like a really big name sort of now in the Halo series because of... I think he was in Halo Infinite. I've not played too much of Halo Infinite. I've seen it on YouTube and stuff, but because you have to actually buy the campaign, I thought it was pretty cheap. Not cheap, the opposite actually. But yeah, so we see this character. I'm pretty sure it's Atriox, and he kicks everyone out. Like, they're on this like sort of like, I think it's like a mountain sort of, and people are getting flung off and stuff. It's really cool, but yeah, so they're losing pretty much, and this is one of my gripes for this episode, guys. Master Chief kind of dies, but Cortana like brings his body back to life and uses it as like a puppet, and she goes ham. And there's a really cool scene where she's like killing all these people, and she actually, because obviously she's AI and she connects to all the UNC systems, she actually controls the Pelican and like shoots all like the Covenant. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, this sort of then explains why at the end Master Chief has no emotion like we know from the games, and why he didn't take his helmet off at the end. So I'm thinking he's going to be in a coma because his mind is dead. So obviously we're going to think that Cortana is sort of in a way going to bring him back. I don't know, guys. And that girl, the one that Master Chief stays in the first episode, that the series had a story for the whole season except from the final 2 episodes. Where is she? She wasn't in the games. She did not need to be in this show. She's so irrelevant, I can't even remember her name. I really hope she's not in the second season and she sort of died off screen like they did that in quite a few of the Halo games. If they couldn't be bothered doing it, they just died off screen. But yeah, overall, this episode was, I don't know, I think this would be a controversial one for the fans. Overall, I thought the action in it was pretty good, but there were a lot of, like, for a finale, you need to answer more questions than give questions. And that, I don't think that really did it for me. Overall, I'd probably give this episode a crisp 8 out of 10. There were positives and negatives, but overall, guys, the first season of Paramount Plus's new Halo series, I'd probably only give it a 7 out of 10. I don't know. Well, let me know down below what you guys thought of the new Paramount Plus Halo series, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!